Hey everyone, this is Kristen from KristenCoaching.com. Thank you so much for joining me for this video today. And the topic of this video has to do with how to get an emotionally unavailable man to open up. I do have another video that I want you to click on where it talks about the signs of having an emotionally unavailable husband. I believe it's entitled, "My Husband is Emotionally Unavailable. What do I do?" And it's important to be able to see the signs of knowing if your partner, significant other, or husband is emotionally unavailable, because you have to know what to do about that. So this is almost like step 2 of that video in terms of, okay, where do we proceed from here? Okay, so most likely if you're watching this video, it is because you have recognized that you are in a relationship with somebody who is emotionally unavailable, meaning that he is not opening up about his feelings. Most likely you're often finding yourself guessing, what he is going through, what his emotions are, and because he's not telling you. And that can be really frustrating and hard to deal with. And that frustration can really be impacting the relationship as well. It's not easy for people who don't know how to express their emotions to all of a sudden to be able to do that. And so we're going to talk about ways that you can address this issue and get him to open up in a way that he hasn't before. And again, I just want to validate that it really can feel like a battle to kind of get into somebody's heart. It can be really painful and frustrating and hard, and what seems like really easy on your end to be able to communicate your feelings and open up can be one of the most challenging and hardest things that the person that you're with can do, and also often one of the most scary things that he can do as well. So I'm here to tell you, and the reason why I want to make this video today is to let you know that you can have a deep connection with somebody who is struggling in this category. You can able to have a relationship that gets you the things that you want out of it, and you guys can get to a point that you're able to communicate effectively on the level that you want to, and ultimately get him to open up. But until that happens, I want to let you know that you are not a victim to this type of a situation. Relationships are a two-way street. So just because he isn't ready or he doesn't know how doesn't mean that you can't take action and do things to get him there and to support him in this situation. So we're going to dive into it, and we're going to talk about steps that you can do on how to get him to open up emotionally. Okay? So the first step is you have to take care of yourself. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean that you need to take care of yourself emotionally during this task and get to the goal of having him open up. Why? Because you can easily get frustrated in this process. You probably are frustrated with the fact that he isn't talking, and you often have to guess how he's feeling. And you have to know what your triggers are, and you have to know what makes you upset and hurt so you can be able to manage those emotions in a healthy manner. Because the more frustrated we are and that exudes out onto our significant others, he's just going to clam up. He's not going to say anything, frustrated especially. To get somebody to open up emotionally, there needs to be an open, free space to do so, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But I do have to say that if you're feeling frustrated, impatient, it isn't going to work, and you have to take care of yourself. You need to know when to take space. You need to know when to do some deep breathing. And the frustration piece really needs to be transformed into a more calm and effective way, which we're going to go into later, and actually really soon. But it's really important that I tell you that. And especially, yelling at your partner or saying things that are disrespectful, it's not going to get you towards your goal. And you have to remember that, okay? What's going to get you towards your goal is to be able to communicate effectively. communicate without frustration. So I really want you, so I'm not saying that you can't feel frustrated, because you absolutely can and you will. It's just important you take care of yourself, and it's also important that you're able to communicate it in a healthy way. So I want you to watch my other video where it talks about communication exercises for couples, because I dive into the use of I statements in that video. And so when you communicate with your other half about how you're feeling and how him not opening up is impacting you and impacting the relationship, I want you to use I statements when you do that. So please click on that, my other video, to teach you how to do that, because that will be really, really helpful in having him feel safe to be able to open up. And it allows you the ownership of your emotions, so you're not hiding anything and pretending that you're not feeling a certain way just to please him. It's a way to own how you feel and to get him to feel safe around those emotions as well. Also, I statements 100% model healthy communication in a relationship. So by you showing what it's like to express yourself and express your emotions, he's going to be seeing that and learning that from you. And that's really, really helpful and a good thing to do. So make sure that you utilize that skill as much as you can. And then another step 3. So right now we have the first 2 steps, right? So the first one is taking care of yourself. The second one is communicating your frustration with I statements. The third step is to be patient and to not pressure him to talk. Okay. Now I want to remind you that this is a process, and it's important that you give your other half time to be able to process his emotions and think about it and be able to relay it in his own time to you. So that doesn't mean that one day he's just going to blurt out, those wonderful I statements and be like, oh, I'm feeling really sad right now, and I just really want to let you know that, and it's really hurting me. To be able to go from like a 0 to a 10 in terms of effective communication is not going to happen. So you have to take out that expectation of how you envision it to go down. It's going to happen in a slow process. So being patient during this time and making sure that you take care of yourself is really important to do so. And again, that allows that space for him to feel safe and confident in expressing his emotions to you. And remember that during this patient time, remember that you guys are a unit and you guys are working together towards this goal. When you're feeling like you guys are on opposite sides of the battle line and the battlefield here, it isn't going to help. You have to be a team in terms of getting to your ultimate goal of having him learn how to communicate his emotions more effectively and to stop being emotionally unavailable. So I think if you change your mindset and know that you guys are doing this together and you're help walking him side by side to do this without pushing, without being frustrated, but just with, this goal of really wanting you guys to have this deeper connection, I think will really be helpful for you. It really is kind of a mindset to be able to do that, and it takes work. And just remember to be patient and know that it's a process and to take care of yourself. So the last thing you do in terms of how to get an emotionally unavailable man to open up is to listen. To listen intently. He's going to drop little bits here and there over time. That's what happens in a relationship. He's going to open up in some type of a way. And even if it's just a little bitty bit, right? It's important that you as the partner are receptive to those emotions when they do come up. So he feels safe and secure to be able to tell you how he is feeling. So it's important that you don't judge those emotions. It's important that you don't throw it back in his face during an argument or a future argument, that you're able to be receptive to those emotions and hear it and acknowledge it and listen with compassion and listen with understanding and not having that judgment. So that's really important to remember. And if you do all of these steps over and over and over again, you are going to be changing the way that he communicates with you, because over time he's slowly going to feel safer being able to do so. He's going to see how you model effective communication skills from your end, and you're going to support him in being able to do that. You're also going to let him know in a healthy way how him not communicating with you impacts you and makes you feel that you guys are not as connected, and that it's causing a struggle and a rift in the relationship in a gentle way. It's important for him to see that. And it's important for him to learn how to do it and practice. And he's going to practice little bits at a time. So to remember that it is a process and it takes him to do, but you do have control and you do have ownership in this process of how to do it. It's not going to be a perfect road, and you're going to make mistakes along the way on these steps. And I also want to bring that up because as you do make mistakes, and maybe you're not so patient, maybe you're not using I statements, it's important to own that in the communication with you guys, and tell him when you have made a mistake and apologize for that, because again, that is more modeling for the relationship and more modeling for him on how to talk with you in a really effective way. So make sure that you own mistakes along the way. Be gentle with yourself and keep repeating these steps. And I am confident that you will get there and eventually change his way of communicating with you, and you will learn how to get an emotionally unavailable man to eventually open up, and that way you guys will have a much deeper sense of connection, and hopefully the relationship will feel more intimate and satisfying for you guys. So good luck in the endeavor. And please feel free to comment below or ask me any questions, and I'll be happy to get back to you as soon as I can. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube page and you'll get a notification every time I post a new video on tips that have to do with healthy relationships. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye.